The goal is not just to sit here and talk about my business. The goal is for you to walk away from this understanding how we create a 30-day growth plan in our business and how you can do the same. I have just been working with so many entrepreneurs, and they're like, if I could just get to $10,000 a month consistently, everything would make my life so much easier. And I'm like, we can do that. Like, we can do that. Have you ever wanted to get an insider's look at building a business? I'm talking about front row to the Lakers-Knicks game. Listen, I know, I'm making a reference, East Coast, West Coast. We out here on the best coast. Okay, do you wanna hear projections? Do you want a 30-day growth plan? That is what I'm gonna be opening the doors to my business to give to you. Welcome to the Jasmine Star Show, where we talk about scaling your business from 7 to 8 figures. And today, we're gonna be setting the stage so that I can I'm gonna walk up to the batter's box, I'm gonna point to the stands, I'm gonna raise my wooden bat, and I'm gonna hear black. And what I hope that ball hits is a grand slam. Yes, I can't believe that I am creating this episode. It is June 2025, and this episode is slated to air on June 24th. Did I say June? Did I say June? No, we're May. Did I say June? I think, okay. Listen, I'm gonna keep this out. I don't need to edit it. I was nervous. So it is May 2025. And this episode is gonna be dropping on June 24th, 2025. And so what I am doing is creating a predictability path to our success. Here's the thing. I can build projections. I don't know if they're going to come true. But one thing I know as a CEO is it is my job to control the effort because I cannot control the outcome. Okay, but wait, because before we get into all of this, I want to read a review from Gree Sinding. Quote, loved the episode when it's time for changes on the team. It's felt so hard, but as you said, necessary. And I loved the action steps. It's less overwhelming when you break it down, end quote. Gree and anybody else who leaves reviews, thank you. I am telling you, your feedback guides the podcast, and it also helps us land really great guests when they know that there's people listening and engaged. Thank you. If you are watching and listening and you have not left a review, please go out and do that right now. It means the world to us. Okay, so we're gonna dive in, and I am going to be talking about how we are creating our 30-day growth plan. And so by the end of June, I have to tell you, all of May, like this morning, as I'm talking with my podcast producer, I said, my goal is I'm gonna get to the end of June. I just gonna say, get to the end of June, get to the end of June. And she's like, Jasmine, you know we're in May, right? And I was like, yes, I know, honey, but this is like nose to the grind, ear on the ground. We're gonna be doing the work. So this is us doing the work. So I'm gonna give you our full playbook, and then we're gonna come back. So today we're gonna be focusing on the projections for 2 initiatives that we have coming up through May and June. The goal is not just to sit here and talk about my business. The goal is for you to walk away from this understanding how we create a 30-day growth plan in our business and how you can do the same. So, here's the best and / worst part. I create quarterly review podcasts, and we call them laying bricks, but you are going to hear in a future episode the results from what our projections are. So this is like a little bit of a shout out to people who regularly listen to the show. Number 1, thank you for that. And number 2, you're gonna be able to see where we landed with this. Does it make me a little bit nervous? Well, yeah, because obviously, you know, I wanna get into the batter's box and I wanna hit a home run. Maybe I'll hit a triple. Maybe I'll hit a single. Maybe I'll strike out. We don't know. But I'm gonna tell you what we're doing to prepare before getting in the batter's box. Okay, so I wanna talk specifically how we planned for them so that you can take our model and use it yourself as your scale from 7 to 8 figures. So initiative number 1, this is filling my mastermind for cohort number 2. Initiative number 1 that we are going to go through June with is to fill the mastermind. So I will tell you that my most favorite part of business is the mastermind. Now, I do a lot of other really cool things, but the mastermind is like my absolute favorite. Now, that's like the business. The podcast is like my love child. We don't really make a lot of money with it. It's a cost center for the business. And so it's like my passion project. But part of the business, the mastermind, is so powerful because I get up close with 7-figure founders as they're scaling to 8 figures. These are women who are phenomenal, strong, courageous, brave, brilliant. And what they're doing is getting into a room with other women who are the same thing. And they're not just just trading information. They're actually trading time. They're like, I tried this, it didn't work. This is the thing I tweak. And somebody goes out and takes those lessons. And so these are all scalable lessons where people are getting these massive results. So I love it. And I love digging into their business, and I love strategizing what do we think are going to be the next best steps. And I also really love to remove any fear, doubt, or excuses and then replace them with frameworks for achievement. These are people who are purpose-driven, and these are people who are peak performers. So yeah, I love it in my business. So we have spots to fill. So we did cohort number 1 of the mastermind, and we have a group of people coming back from cohort number 1, but not everybody's coming back, which I totally understand when it was never the expectation. So we need a plan to fill the remaining seats. And so what we're really trying to do is highlight what is the transformation that somebody is getting when they come into the mastermind. Who are they now, and what do they want? The better that we get at identifying that clear transformation, the more ready and primed somebody's gonna be to buy. So our projection is 20 members for cohort 2. Now, the investment is $30,000 for an 8-month program. Now, what I'm telling you is our projection is 20. I am telling you what the investment is going to be. So let's talk about how. How are we planning on filling the cohort with 20 people? So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on 2 ways of lead building. Now, just because we're building leads, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be inclined to buy, that they're ready to buy, or that now is the right time. All good, but our job is to get the leads. So let's talk about how we're going to get leads for a high ticket item, for a high touch program with other really brilliant people. So lead way number 1 to building leads for our mastermind is, number 1, we're going to cultivate leads on our segmented newsletter. So I have a newsletter with hundreds of thousands of people, and people are identifying how much money they make in their business. So I don't want to be sending emails to people who aren't necessarily qualified for the mastermind, because I don't want anybody feeling a certain way, like, oh, that's not my business yet. So it's our job to really go down, and if people have indicated, now if they have indicated the revenue on that newsletter list, they're segmented into a separate list. So I'm gonna create emails cultivating that relationship with them, and then I'm gonna be inviting them to ask questions and get feedback. That is going deep with an audience I currently have. Now, the second way we're gonna be building out is a new lead list. How are we gonna get new leads? Number 1, we're gonna create value. And number 2, we're gonna position the Jasmine Star brand. I know I just referred to myself in third person, which annoys the heck out of me, but we're looking at this from like a business diagnostic. We're gonna position the Jasmine Star brand as a brand authority, as an authority helping and empowering 7-figure female founders into 8 figures. So how do we provide value, and how do we position as brand authority? We're gonna do this in 3 ways. Number 1, I am hosting a 7-figure accelerator. This is a free 3-part live series. It's no pitch. So I am showing up, creating 3 sessions. You can sign up for the accelerator. Well, not the time, actually. I'm recording the accelerator at the time that I am recording the podcast too. So by the time this drops, you cannot sign up for the accelerator. But it's 3 sessions, all free, all live, no pitch. But we're inviting people to come to this, and we're calling it the 7-figure accelerator, so that we're going to be attracting people who are running 7-figure businesses. I am going to be teaching, and it's going to be live. We want to just show up in my truest self, share a bunch of valuable insight, and then not have any expectation. But when they sign up for the class, we are going to be able to segment that list according to qualified leads. Number 2, I am hosting what we're calling the 7-Figure Summit. This is a brand new idea and initiative. I'm very excited. So think about the 7-Figure Summit like a TED Talk. Like I'm hosting like my own TED Talk. So I brought in a crew of 7-figure founders, and I asked them, in less than 10 minutes, can you share the best tip that has helped you scaled your 7-figure business as you're growing into 8? So I have 7 people coming in, each teaching about 8 to 10 minutes on a session, and I'm hosting it. So I'm hosting it, and I'm aggregating their powerful information. And here again, there's not going to be a pitch. It's just join us here. But in order to join the summit, people have to sign up. And when they sign up, they're segmenting themselves according to their revenue. And if they're qualified, they'll be going into a separate list. The third and final way that we are creating a new lead list and lead gen was what we're calling 7 ways to 7 figures. This is an Instagram live summit. So I'm going to be doing something similar. I'm going live on Instagram, and I have invited a group of 7-figure founders to come in, and everybody has less than 3 minutes to share a very big, valuable point, lesson, tip that has helped them scale to 7 figures. So we are path number 1 of cultivating leads for the mastermind. Number 1 is we're going to be cultivating that segmented newsletter list of people that are already listening and opening my weekly emails. Number 2, we're going to be getting new lead generation by way of the 7-Figure Accelerator, by way of the 7-Figure Summit, and by way of 7 ways to 7 figures. So new leads will be qualified and then invited to apply for the mastermind. So we close registration for cohort 2 on January 6th. This is me putting it in a little time capsule, and I am just writing 20 amazing, phenomenal, empowering, brilliant female entrepreneurs are going to be joining us by June 6th. What an honor. Like, what an honor. Now, as you're sitting here and you're saying, but Jasmine, I don't have a mastermind. Right, but you might have a high ticket offer in your product suite and you're wondering, how do I get new eyes on this? Well, you get new eyes by cultivating the leads you have and then building out new leads. If you had all, so far, if you found this episode at all, even a little bit helpful, I would love if you were to pass this on to a friend, for somebody who is wanting to build their business in new ways. When you share this podcast, this is how we grow. And I just want to say thank you for that in advance. Okay, let's go into initiative number 2. Again, this episode is dropping on June 24th, and I'm going into my time capsule and I'm putting in something else there. And initiative number 2 is called the Consistent 10K. And you probably have never heard of this before because we've kept it private. We have been working on this for months. It feels like we've been working on this for years. This idea has been brewing for so long, and we're so excited for it. And one thing that I did not want to do, because this is a brand new program, is that I didn't want to publicly launch this program the way that we normally launch our programs, because it's new and it is untested. And so what we decided to do was open a small beta test. So we have this idea. We love what it is we're doing, but I am not trying to put a lot of attention and ads behind it because I want to get proof of concepts. I want to get killer testimonials. I want to blow people's minds so that they're like, I cannot believe I just went through this. So I want to talk a little bit about a beta test. We are firm believers in testing a new idea so that we can find a way to make it really good before expanding into a larger market. So in a beta test, we're going to get our theories confirmed. We have a theory about how this is going to convert. We have a theory around how sales are going to unfold. We have a theory how the community is going to be communicating and participating. We have a theory around the transformation. Well, all of those theories in a beta test will be confirmed. Also, during a beta test, we're going to be tweaking so we can finalize. Like, we have a lot of ideas and we said, we believe this is the best pathway. And all of a sudden, if a group of people still continue to fall maybe like on a pitfall, that there's something that's not clear, oh, well, we need to tweak it so we can finalize the end product. And the last and final thing that we're really focusing on during beta tests is exposures. Are there weaknesses anywhere in this foundation? How are we dealing with customer support? Do people feel supported? Do they know that they're getting the type of attention and feedback that they deserve? Great, so the exposures are going to be sealed. So theories confirmed, tweaks finalized, and exposures sealed. That is what we're doing with beta test. So what is the Consistent 10K, you might be wondering? It's a 90-day step-by-step mentorship that will help you launch and grow your online business to consistent 10K months with a repeatable, proven plan. I have just been working with so many entrepreneurs, and they're like, if I could just get to $10,000 a month consistently, everything would make my life so much easier. And I'm like, we can do that. Like, we can do that. And so this is our exact methodology. So our projection for this beta test, now, it's going to be small. I am not trying to build out an empire with this yet. So our projection, whenever we create projections, we do a good, better, best. So our good goal is 40 beta testers. Our better goal is 50 beta testers, and our best beta goal is 60. So like I said, small. We want a small group of people to test our theories, tweaks, and exposures to make sure that they're confirmed, finalized, and sealed. Okay, so how? How do we plan on hitting our goal? Well, number one, I'm gonna go to the most engaged openers of my newsletter. I know that people say email is dead, and I know people say that newsletters are dead. I can raise my hand and attest they're not. people who read my newsletter really go deep. They have a greater sense of knowing like where I am in my business. I send weekly updates to this newsletter all about where I am in business. I'm documenting what I'm learning and I'm sharing it in written form on the weekly. So the people who are opening consistently, they know me the most. They just do. So I'm going to be sending invites to the people who are opening the most because why? I want a small group of people who really know me and trust me. Secondly, we're going to be segmenting the overall newsletter list to business owners that are doing under $200,000. If you're doing under $2,000, we believe that this program is going to be the thing that catapults you past that point. And all we're basically doing is I keep on hearing inbound pressure points of the things that people want and desire. So this is our best attempt at saying, hey, this is what we've done, this is what we do, and we're going to streamline this 90-day process for you. Okay, and so I want to be very clear, is that we didn't want to get a cold audience. I didn't want new people signing up for this beta test. I didn't want to run ads to people who are unfamiliar with what I am. Because with a beta test, the reason why it works is because people care. They want to know that, hey, I trust Jasmine and I know that she delivers. And so I'm gonna make a bet on a beta test. So I am one of the first people to give back feedback and make this program exactly what I want and what I need. And secondly, people have to care about giving that feedback because they're gonna be investing in this program. So when people invest in it, they don't feel obliged to give feedback. They don't feel obliged to make it better. But with the beta test, that's gonna be my very clear ask. And if I'm gonna be making that ask of them, then I need to make sure on the front end, this is why we're doing it. And this is why we're keeping it small because we want that attention on every single person. Okay, so now let's talk about you. This podcast is hardly, or I hope this podcast is never just about me. Like nobody really cares about me. I get it. I hardly care about, no, I feel like I was gonna say I hardly care about myself, but through lots of therapy, a lot of work, I care about myself. I love myself. But when this podcast, it's really about you. I wanna say, what am I learning? And then contextualize it for you. So let's talk about you. If you want a 30-day growth plan, I want you to focus on one growth initiative. Just pick one. And I want us putting all of our energy around that. Next, clearly outline how you are going to build leads for that initiative. You currently have leads or you don't, but either way, you're still going to want to get new leads. You have to ask yourself, how? How am I going to get new leads? Next, be sure that you are gathering data along the way. I want you to go back, and after we finish this beta test, we're gonna ask ourselves, what was the most qualified leads? What was the best way that we got leads for the mastermind? Was it the 7-figure accelerator? Was it the 7-figure summit? Was it the 7 way to 7 figures? We're gonna have to go back and start collecting that data because we wanna ask ourselves, what do we do more of? What do we do less of? What do we amplify and what do we completely cut away? We only do that when we know the data that we're looking for in advance. Another thing is collecting data. And so for us, like what kind of data are we collecting? Remember how I said we're segmenting our newsletter list according to income ranges so that we're serving people right where they are? Well, we have to continue to get data like what was the open rate? What was the click-through rate for the overall newsletter list versus the segmented list? What we're really doing is we're getting granular around the marketing efforts to see what is working and what is moving the needle. And that is exactly what I want you to do. Now, lastly, I want you to reflect. I want you to say, I set a short time horizon. I want you to say, I set a goal that was 30 days from now. I had a plan to build lead generation. I deployed on the plans for lead generation. I made an offer and then I got data on what worked, what didn't work, what I want to do again, or what do I simply want to stop doing. That's business. That is just foundation. And that, my friends, is a 30-day growth plan. So my question to you is, where are you going to be in the next 30 days? Pick an initiative, build those lead lists, and point to the stands like Babe Ruth and say, that's where I'm going to hit the ball. We are responsible for the effort that we put in before we get to the batter's box. We are not responsible for the effort of where the ball goes. I want to say thank you for watching and listening to the Jasmine Star Show. If this was at all helpful for you, please send it to a friend because when we grow together, we do bigger things collectively. Thanks again.